See, can you see my screen?
Exactly.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes it doesn't work, but hey. All right, I'm going to switch off my camera so I can't see anybody because I get distracted because I'll be looking at what everybody's eating. So good evening, everyone, or wherever you are in the world. I think most of us are in the UK or in Europe, so good evening. And today's session is appreciation, how it can change everyone's career. So how to be more appreciative in a working environment. That's the basis of it. So my name is Rosemary Wilson. I'm also a consort of Internations. I am a consort of the London Inspired Women's Group and the London Londoners of All Nations, those two groups. And I usually do one event per month for each of those groups. My background is actually, in fact, in finance. I spent over 20 years working in oil and gas, in finance, and then in fintech. So part of a technical structure implementing large-scale financial systems. But my heart really does, it speaks to people. It is about people and being of service. So I retrained and now I run my own business, which is a coaching and consultancy company. I work with women one-to-one to help them thrive in what they do. So balance that ambition and fulfillment and help them to either thrive in what they do or take the next step, whether it's staying in the same role or moving on to something else. And I also work with organizations who are committed to investing in their talent whilst nurturing a culture of diversity and inclusion. So I run workshops and programs for organizations. So if you're interested and you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, find out what else I'm doing, then you can use that QR code and you can connect with me and we can continue this conversation, or you can just drop in and see what I'm doing. That's just a little bit about me. It's not the me show, it's the you show. So today I'm going to be covering what is appreciation. I'm going to be talking about recognition and reward, because appreciation to me takes on the space in it looks like different things basically. I'm going to talk about values and being valued. What does that mean? I'm going to talk about the benefits of an appreciation culture, and I'll share a couple of practical steps at the end. If anyone's joining or just joined, we are only recording me on camera and myself, the presentation. We'll keep you off camera for now, and anything you say, we'll keep that off camera, off the recording. But once we get to the Q&A, we'll unmute everybody. I'll turn off my screen share and we can all contribute. So for now, I'm sorry, I will be talking to you. I will ask you questions, but I'll ask you to put the answers and responses in the chat box. And can I also ask you to stay on mute so that it doesn't come out on the recording for those listening afterwards, or you listening again. Yeah, so I said I'll open up for Q&A as well. So what's your reason for being here? If you could just pop in the chat box 1 or 2 words what your reason for being here is. Why did you decide to take time out of your evening to come and listen to this talk on appreciation and how it can change your career? If you can share that with me, that'd be wonderful. Just a couple of things. I want to see if there's any surprises, anything strange that comes up. It might just be you want something to do, interested in personal development, to find out what to appreciate. Okay. Okay, and someone loves my event. Isin loves my events. That's wonderful. And all improvements help to feel better at work, and learning is a passion. Yeah, I agree. Appreciation and recognition of people at work is generally far too little. Thank you very much for your contribution. So no big surprises there. So thank you very much for sharing that. So the brief is about appreciation, and I spoke about it being about career, but as much as it's about your career, you know, peer-to-peer, colleagues, employees, and your management, your leadership team, I do believe that appreciation is multidimensional. So although I'm talking about your career, I'll make reference to your personal lives as well, because for me, I am a great appreciator. I appreciate life. I appreciate everything. So I appreciate career progression and people in my career and in my circles, but I also appreciate things in my personal life as well. And you know, appreciation comes from my core. So I'll dip in and out of that as well. You might hear me make some references to personal life. So when I did this, the first time I ran this session, I actually did it at a conference, a big conference in Dublin. And I looked up the definition of the words appreciation, and everything I looked at, it was a cross section. It involved appreciation, gratitude, and recognition. So the definition of appreciation was recognition and enjoyment of the good qualities of someone or something. That's thanks or gratitude. And gratitude came up with the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. And then finally, recognition, appreciation or acclaim for an achievement, service, or ability. So again, these three words, appreciation, gratitude, recognition, are interlinked. So again, you may see them coming up in different aspects, but they generally mean the same thing: to be thankful and appreciative of others in your circle and space, others and things, in fact. So why should we be more appreciative of the people we work with? Why should you be more appreciative in the circles you work with? And why should people be more appreciative of you? So for me, it is the key element for teamwork and camaraderie. It's like a secret ingredient. If you have it, it makes the pot a little bit sweeter. It's a foundation for positivity. And there's that culture of feeling valued. Everybody knows what it's like when you're undervalued. Everybody knows what it's like to feel valued. So why wouldn't you appreciate other people and other things? It boosts well-being, resilience, and morale. You know, okay, this year's been a bit different, but if you've been on a call, you've not been in the office, or you've been on a video call or conference, and you've been shown some form of recognition or appreciation, I'm sure that's made you feel a little bit better, given the circumstances that we're given in these times. When you have an appreciation or recognition of each person's individual contribution, it drives diverse ideas. It says to you, please share your ideas with me. And that in itself creates innovation and creativity. So why wouldn't you want that? You know, we thrive on innovation and creativity. And, you know, appreciation also improves performance and productivity. All of these are wonderful whys for why we want to create a culture of appreciation in where we work and you know what we do. So when was the last time you were shown appreciation, recognition, or gratitude, personally or professionally? Can you remember? I'm hoping it was recently. So can you think back and think about when you were shown appreciation, or maybe someone did something nice for you, your colleague, your friend, a family member, your manager? When was the last time you were shown appreciation or in your work? Can you remember? Let's have a quick look. This month, that's wonderful. Anybody else? This month, okay, that's good. This week, ooh, start of the year. Okay, that's a little while ago. All right, maybe we'll have to dig into the archives of our brains to see. And I know when I feel appreciated, you know, that makes me feel good. I don't do things specifically to be appreciated or thanked for, but it is nice. It is something that I enjoy. So thanks for sharing that with me. That's brilliant. So when we're talking about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, some of you may know about this or may not, but you can look it up afterwards. Maslow, that's MASLOW, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So he has a structure, and he talks about the needs, the human needs of what we need to live and survive and grow. And we've got the five five levels. And we've got the physiological needs, which are eating, you know, your crucial needs: eating, sleeping, etc. We've got safety, security, that's your comfort, that's your knowing that you've got somewhere to live or sleep, and that's your safety and security, finances, etc. Love and belonging, you know, partnerships, significant others, friends, relationships, family. And then we've got self-esteem. So you can have high self-esteem or low self-esteem. If you're at the low end of self-esteem, you tend to need people appreciating. You tend to need, you want to be liked, you want to be loved, and you need that for your self-esteem. When you're at the higher end you might not need to have that. You'll be okay with, you enjoy being appreciated, but it's not a necessity. And then you've got the self-actualization at the top. So when we're talking about self-actualization is when you get to be who you want to be, that you are the best, you've achieved your full potential. That's at the top of the structure. And self-esteem, so the recognition, attention, appreciation fits in with the self-esteem category. And we all know that, these types of things help us to feel good and contribute to our self-esteem, which of course is something that's important for everyone, but definitely for the majority of us. And when you're appreciated, reciprocity, that is the act of sharing, the act of passing things on. So the act of giving on and paying it forward. Now, it's a positive psychology. If you are appreciated, you'll more than likely want to pass it on. You'll more than likely want to pay it forward and say thank you, do something nice for someone else. Often, not every time, but quite often. And you'll also repeat the behaviors that warranted, that gave you that appreciation. So if you're in the workplace and your manager or your leadership team or a colleague appreciates you, then you're more likely to repeat those patterns of behavior and do good and excel in your work, or do good or do better. And then you'll pay it forward also to your colleagues and your working environment. So it's a really wonderful space for that reciprocity to share and pay it forward. So your environment, the environment that you work in, does recognition flow? Does appreciation flow? Is it something that needs work? Is it something that you could go back into your organization and have a talk to them about and say, well, maybe we could do something around this. Perhaps we can change the environment. And what about your home life as well? Are you taken for granted, or are you appreciated in your workspace, your friends and your family, and your life? So is there room for improvement on both those sides, in your work life and your home life? What could you do about it? Who could you speak to and say, I want to do something about the way we appreciate how we work and what we do. So for the person that said, I think it was Alex that said 5 months, start of the year, we're now in May. So, that's a long time to not be appreciated. So what could you do differently, perhaps in either way you work or in your home or personal life? So for me, it's very simple, being appreciative. A simple thank you is just so bold. It's just so wonderful. But quite often we don't do it. Some people see it as old-fashioned. I remember when I ran this session at a company, one of the attendees in the workshop said, I don't like saying thank you after someone gives me something at work. I don't like saying it all the time because it starts to feel disingenuous. It starts to feel as if it's fake. And I'm like, well, how can thank you seem fake if you say it from the heart, if you're really appreciative? Perhaps if you're not appreciative, maybe it comes across as feeling fake. So I thought that was quite an interesting statement. But saying thank you, please, thank you, being gracious, allowing someone to go through a door before you, that sort of stuff, is seen as quite traditional, quite old-fashioned. I'm very much old school. I'm quite old. I'm a lot older than maybe most people here. I don't know, but I'm quite traditional. So I like to be thankful. I'm grateful for the things that I have. And appreciation is almost like an era of forgotten manners. It's like it's so simple, people have forgotten about it and forgotten how to do it. For some people, it was never taught. They may have come from a home that wasn't, or an environment that wasn't appreciative, or they might have been grown up in a negative or unhelpful environment. So it might not have been taught. So they don't use it now as they've become adults or older. Sometimes we're too busy. We forget to say thank you. We forget to show appreciation. We just want it done. Just get it done. I don't really care. Just get it done. Who's come across that kind of attitude before? And it doesn't make you feel great, does it? If someone says, I don't really care, just get it done. That's like, whoa, that's not very nice. And I can be quite impatient. I've been known to be quite impatient in my time, but I've never said to someone, just get it done. I might be thinking it, but I wouldn't say it out loud. but I'm more aware of it now. So I'm big on self-awareness and emotional intelligence. So I'm much more patient and appreciative of people who are doing things around me and for me. And again, we forget. So forgotten manners, and we forget sometimes. But it's really that simple. Show appreciation. Show appreciation for all aspects of your life, especially when it comes to your career. And that really does help, because people remember that. People remember your generosity of spirit. So when you're looking for a new job, they'll say, oh, that person, yes, I love to work with that person. I'd love to give that person a job. So that's how it helps your career. And for me, because it's so simple, it really makes it an easy win. It's not difficult. Just it's really simple. Thank you. Or I really appreciate what you've done. Quite often when I send messages or notes, I remember someone said to me once, oh, you don't need to keep saying good, hello, how are you doing in your messages. I get it, kind of thing. And I'm like, well, it's just who I am. That's who I am. I want to know how you're doing. You might be having a really bad day and you might want to talk to someone. So I do that. So I show appreciation. I say thank you. I say hello. I'm very polite. Boring, but great and simple. If you want to call it boring, I don't say it's boring. It's an easy feel-good factor. Making someone feel appreciated. It's just easy, and they will do things for you. I'm telling you, they really will. And sometimes less is more. The simplicity of it all. Just a simple thank you is memorable. It doesn't have to be a big bunch of flowers or a magnum of champagne or £1,000. Sometimes less is more. Just show that you appreciate someone. And then it enables greater resilience. You do things, you feel stronger, and you'll be able to feel stronger within yourself to do more things as well. Just to point out, if anyone's joined us, I'm speaking for a while until I finish the presentation, and then we'll have an open discussion in the Q&A, just because we're recording the session, just to let you know. We don't want to capture everyone's personal details on camera, just in case anyone's joined us late. So recognition and reward, how can you do that? If you are a leader in your workplace, or you have a team, or just with your colleagues, simple thank you will suffice. You can also give feedback. You can say, I really value your contribution. You can give praise to exceptional effort, effort that's gone above and beyond the norms of work. You see it in appraisals, beyond expectations, matches expectations, or beyond expectations, exceeds expectations is the term. You could have a little team gathering, obviously not at the moment, but you could have a team gathering online as well. I've seen companies sending out little thank you boxes of small things that are nice, spa treatments, what's that thing where you can massage your back, little roller things, just nice little treats. Just tell your team that you appreciate them, or you can do it for a colleague. Thank your team that you're doing great work. Just before the next meeting, just take 5 and say thank you to the team. I really want to share my gratitude for all the work you're doing, so thank you. Then you can have financial, it doesn't have to be financial, but you can have financials. You can buy someone a gift card, you can give them money in the form of a bonus or a spot bonus, or you can offer them a meal so they can go out or take their partner out for a meal. So these are just some of the ways you can show recognition, rewards, and appreciation in your workplace. Values and principles are important. So for me, as I spoke about earlier, I'm quite traditional. So I don't know if traditional goes with values, and that could open up a whole different discussion. But I have I'm quite in touch with my own values, and some of my values are gratitude and appreciation. But these are some values that I looked up. All of these are important to me, but the list could be really long. But these values here, for me, when you're in touch with your values, I find people really in touch with their values seem to be much more appreciative of life. And that's not strictly true in every sense of that, but generally that's what I see. So your values and principles, I think, go hand in hand with appreciation. I'm happy to discuss that. It's not, it's my opinion, but I'm open to other opinions as well. But I do see some really important connections with values and appreciation. That's something that I really see. So that's just a list of some values there that I think are important in life in general and in work. And when you feel valued, so for me, your values, as I said, are linked to the value that you give to others. And it's also linked to feeling valued. So when I'm in touch with my values, I value other people. And when I'm in touch with my own values and I'm working in an environment, I actually feel valued as well. So I think it's all linked together, and it can be quite a big and heavy topic. So I don't want to go into too much detail on values, but I think it's quite an important piece on the in the appreciation space. For me, values are an intrinsic part of appreciation and recognition, and being recognized leads to feeling valued. It leads to feeling wanted, and leads to feeling appreciated, and that I see you. And if you don't have the basics, so if you're not connected with your values to start with, I think it makes the whole process of being appreciative more difficult. Again, that's my opinion, my experience, should I say, more my experience rather than my opinion. Perhaps it's my opinion because of what I've experienced. But again, open to different thoughts in this space. It's quite a big topic, so that might drive some interesting dialogue later. So, what are the psychological or emotive effects that you experience when you are feeling appreciative? When someone goes out of their way to say a simple thank you, or they offer something to you that makes you feel appreciated. So, what are some of the psychological or emotive effects you experience? So, in one or two words in the chat box, can you think of how you feel when someone appreciates you? And is this something you've ever thought about? Is it something that you sit down and think, oh, I'm feeling really underappreciated today, or I'm feeling really appreciated today? What are some of the effects that you have? Happiness. Yeah. You feel wonderful. Yeah, you feel special. And it just makes you want to sing and chant and skip, I don't know, whatever. Feel good on cloud nine, smile. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I get goosebumps when someone does something for me. My partner, every weekend he juices oranges and grapefruit. So we have fresh juice every Saturday and Sunday without fail, unless we've forgotten to buy oranges and grapefruit, which is very, very rare. And we've been together for 20 years. And every morning, every weekend, he makes the juice, and he always says, "There's juice for you." And it's a routine. It's just so simple. It's such a simple act between the two of us. I can see the juice. I know the juice is there, but I don't go, "Oh God, I can see the juice." You do that every week. I just say, "Oh, thank you, babe," and I give him a little kiss, or whatever, or a pat on the head or a hug, whatever is at the time. Or I might be upstairs and I shout down, "Thanks." It's just our little ritual. But it just makes me smile, and it makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel loved. It makes me feel appreciated. But I appreciate him. I make sure I pay it back, because I don't want to take it for granted. I don't want to take him for granted. So I feel like Pavlov's dog, yeah, ready to spring into action. Yeah, I smile even more. Yeah, it's wonderful. You really do feel good, and no matter what kind of day you're having, when you're appreciated, it just gives you that little pep up, that little step, which is part of the resilience and well-being I spoke about earlier. It really does. It really does make a difference. So I want to just shout out to everyone: show your appreciation more and more and more. And for me, it speaks for. It says you are worthy, you are worth it, you are valued. When you show appreciation and recognition, all those things you said about smiling, feeling on cloud nine, feeling good. It says I see you. When you say I appreciate, when you do something, you're telling them, I see you, I value you, I not worship you, that's not quite not quite what I'm looking for. I recognize you, I appreciate you, I recognize your worth. And these are powerful statements. If you're obviously in need of those statements to help you feel great about yourself, that's a different conversation. But when you're feeling okay, you're good, and you've done something, and you get those acts of recognition, They really do help you feel amazing and on cloud nine, as you said. And a boost to your self-esteem, whether you need it or not. You know, everybody likes to feel wanted and welcome and considered as well. And then you engage more as well. You're likely to do different things. So for me, when you appreciate, when you're in an appreciative culture at work, it allows for more open discussions, because you recognize the work of others. People aren't, I've worked in environments where people are kind of hiding what they've done because they think it's not going to be appreciated, or they feel that they're going to be shouted at because it's not good enough. And that's a culture of fear, and that's not something that I enjoyed being around. I've worked in them. I don't necessarily work in them. I do see them when I go into organizations now, which makes me quite sad, but I do what I can. I do my bit to change attitudes and behaviors. But it does open up discussions when you're in an appreciation culture, and you'll get different conversations. People are more likely to open up, they're more likely to trust you, and they'll do more and be more productive because they know that they're being valued. And as I said, I see you, I appreciate you, I feel, I give you your worthiness. I feel you are worthy. So people will be more productive. And that's just a wonderful environment to work in. And I know I can't change every single environment in the world, but I'm ever optimistic. And if I can tell one of you to do, or perhaps if I can influence one of you to do something different in your workplace, then for me, that's a win as well. If I can go into organizations and run these types of workshops to more and more people, for me, that's a wonderful win. I want more appreciation, less anger in the world. Really, that's what I look for, and that's what I do, and that's how I serve. So the wonderful benefits of appreciation, well, I've shared everything I've said, talks about the benefits, doesn't it? So it generates positive psychology, as I've been asking you, how do you feel when someone shows you appreciation? It builds a resilience and your emotional well-being, and it contributes to your satisfaction. So we're going through if we talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs again, with the self-esteem, contributes to your satisfaction. That's part of your esteem, part of your own self-esteem, makes you feel good. And then you think and act differently, and then you're more likely to pay it forward. It does create a culture of belonging because you're welcoming different people, you're welcoming different ideas, and you're saying to them, I appreciate your contribution. So it creates a culture of being a belonging and being in an environment where I want to stay and I want to stick around. I feel like it's a family. It encourages open dialogue and discussions, and also creates a culture of safety, trust, and respect. What's not to love? And then there's a degree of social connection in your workplace that you can maybe take outside of the workplace. If you're in that type of environment, you can make friends. So these are all the wonderful benefits. I'm sure I could put more on there, but time is of the essence, so I'll move on. So there's that wonderful element of social connection. So after today, I don't know where you work, or if you're working at the moment, or if you're not working, do it with your friends and family. Tell them that you appreciate them more. People say make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them, but tell your loved ones that you appreciate them. Tell the people you care about that you appreciate them. Be an advocate. In the career, if you're looking to move up the ladder, when you treat people good, remember some circles are quite, I'm going to say, not, some circles are quite closed. So you'll start to see the same people in the same environments. So people will remember your behavior. So don't think they're not making notes. So when you're more appreciative of others, it feels good and people will remember you. So be an advocate, show appreciation for others, and what you have really does have a place in life. So show your appreciation for others. Be an advocate of appreciation, gratitude, and recognition. If you see someone doing good work and they're not being appreciated, tell them that they're appreciated, or speak to the line manager and say, hey, Bob and Susie did that really great project. Have we thanked them? What did we do? How, has it gone above and beyond their work? And remember that, paying it forward, it's the we show and not the me show. No man or woman is an island. You cannot get anywhere on your own. So it's really important to be a we, a collective, rather than a me, 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 me. So I love that. It's the we show, not the me show. Although it is the me show right now because I'm talking. But you know why I'm saying that. But we are a collective. So that's really important to remember. So your action steps, I'm coming up to the Q&A, so you'll be able to talk, discuss, ask questions. So what I'd like you to do is action steps is identify 3 things you can do to be more appreciative and be an advocate of appreciation. What can you do in your space? And even if you are already doing it, what can you do more of to show your appreciation? Is there something that you can do? Is there something you can share or show? You know, lead by example. What can you do? It'd be great if you can share 3 things, or if you think of one thing you can do differently, that will be wonderful if you could share that with me. So I'm going to finish off with a Maya Angelou quote. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So I've been Rosemary Wilson. There's my contact details again. You can snap the QR. If anyone came in late, just use your phone or take a screenshot, get in contact with me on LinkedIn. Happy to continue the conversation. And now we'll open up for Q&A.